Hello, Internet. Welcome back to another edition of Eric's Corner with the word of the not so wise. If you've been following me, you see that I'm doing something a little bit different with my camera angle. Some fellow idiots from the internet gave me a few pointers, said try shift my camera angle, moving a little closer. I was kind of doing it the other way because I wanted you to see my full set, but now maybe you kind of still can. We'll see how you like it. One person suggested move a little closer, move it to the left. I assumed he meant my left. Camera left looked a little bit weird, so going this route. But today I'm going to dip into global warming and how the media and government has come up with a new apocalypse every 10 years for the last 7 decades, and not a single one of them has come anywhere near to being true, and they've all resulted in raising taxes and impeding on our freedoms. By freedoms, I mean the things that are supposed to protect us from them. I mean, they've been shitting on that for a lot of years. And I made the point, I grew up here in Alaska, and from my parents' house, I have this really nice view. I'm going to try to tag a video on the end of this one, so I can have this in one video, but it might end up being a part two. I'm not quite sure. But across the bay, there was a snow pack on the mountains year round. And when I came home from fishing when I was 17, so almost 20 years ago, all the snow was gone. Now, you could argue that that goes against what I'm saying, that I don't think it's real, or I think it's a hoax and it's just government overreach, just like everything. But we're at the end of an ice age. The planet has been warming for thousands of years. It's thawing. We're at the end of an ice age. Of course, things are going to thaw out. But since then, we now have snow on those mountains year round. And again, having grown up here, my dad ran a charter boat operation, and one of the things he'd often do is take us to see glaciers. By us, I mean he means the passengers, and I was obviously just along for the ride. And I watched them every year recede and get smaller and smaller and smaller. And the argument's made, well, take a glass of water, dump ice in it, fill all the way to the top, and it doesn't overflow. Well, all this ice isn't in the water. It's up on mountaintops. And the polar ice caps, you might argue that they're more in the water, but there's a lot more glaciers around the planet, I'm guessing, than what is in the polar ice caps. And again, they're out of the water. Again, you might say that contradicts me saying that it's bullshit. Well, rising sea levels in Ungava Bay, Quebec, Canada, 1953. 70 years ago, 50, 67, 70 years ago, was a record, the world record high tide. Google it, because that's what Google told me. 56 foot, 6 inch tide. 70 years ago. So in 70 years, we haven't had a higher high tide. Now, wouldn't rising sea levels create higher high tides? The record, one of the record high tides is actually right outside of Anchorage, Alaska. I don't remember what the footage was, but again, its record was back in like 1960 something, and it might have had something to do with the 64 earthquake. I'm not sure, but again, it was 50, 60 something years ago. Shouldn't those high tides be getting higher? Now, okay, I'm not a scientist. Okay, fine, but basic observation, very basic observation, is not adding up to what these scientists are supposedly finding. Okay, you know what? Fuck you. Neither is Greta Thunberg. I mean, I got all B's in high school. At least I graduated high school. She's a dropout. And when confronted, said, well, are you going to condemn these people that Saudi Arabia and these other places with this, and China and these places with these massive carbon footprint? Doesn't say anything. Well, China's probably not the ones paying her, so of course she's gonna go against the ones that are paying her to go against. Says, do you fly in a private jet? Oh, I own 100 private jets. Okay, no, you don't. Whatever. But yeah, okay. Brag about owning 100 private jets when you complain about carbon emissions. Yeah, sounds about right. And this Plymouth Rock thing in Plymouth, Massachusetts, it's supposed to be the sea level. Well, I mean, shouldn't it be covered by now? Or shouldn't it be the benchmark of, well, hey, sea levels, low tides aren't as low as they used to be, and high tides are averaging higher? Shouldn't it be? Again, basic observation. and I did a little research. I was hoping to kind of put something together and actually show you a chart, but it completely overwhelmed me. I'm not a good computer guy, and I mean I know somebody out there could whip this up in an afternoon, and that'd be fantastic if you take the time to do so. And I mean just look at the tides. That'll tell us everything we need to know. And again, I don't really take my show on the road, but I will. I'll take a quick video from my parents' house, which has a beautiful view. It completely spoiled me growing up. Don't appreciate stuff like that till it's gone. So, I mean, trust me, I got plenty more on global warming, but I'm just going to keep this to the basic about the tides because I think that pretty much debunks everything that they're telling us. Back in the 70s, Time magazine said, "Oh, well, how to survive the upcoming ice age," and it's just one thing after another. And then they said researchers went and drilled core samples at the South Pole and said that it was actually warmer at some year. I don't know how drilling ice core samples tells you that again. And, somebody's going to clap back, I guarantee, with, well, you see, I do my own research. Well, unless you went to the South Pole and drilled core samples with these guys or whatever exactly it is they do, you're not doing your own research. You're just Googling shit. Stop acting like your Google ability is more virtuous and more accurate than mine. So, anyway, that's what I got on Plymouth Rock and the tides that don't seem to be changing. Again, I'll tag a video onto the end of this, and hopefully, I hope I can figure out how to do that. But like my channel, smash that subscribe button. Like to see you around, like to see your comments. Let me know what you think. So, have a good rest of your week.